welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show where it's a talent to tell tales. On David Mitchell's team tonight, next to the Aran sweater Mrs. Bryden knitted me, he's my favourite ever jumper. It's Olympic long jump gold medalist Greg Rutherford. And she is the Crime Watch host, who's one of the most popular presenters on television. So I'm sure you'll be cheering her on tonight, unless you're watching this from G-Wing. It's Kirsty Young. And on Lee Mack's team tonight, a comedy actress and star of The Thick of It, a political show all about spin, which is one of the few four-letter words from that show we can say at 8:30. It's Joanna Scanlon. And a comedian who's come here all the way from Germany. I said to him, "You're a star?" And he said, "Thanks very much, I am quite famous now." It's Henning Wehn. So we begin tonight with round one. It's Home Truths, where our panellists read out a statement from the card in front of them. Now, to make things harder, they've never seen the card before. They've no idea what they'll be faced with. And it's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. Kirsty is first up. Kirsty, off you go.
OK. I have 5 chickens, all named after my favourite newsreaders.
Oh.
Well, there we are. Right, Lee's team, what do you think?
What are their names?
Their names are Anna Ford,
Yeah.
Jan Leeming,
Another newsreader.
Selina Scott,
Newsreader.
2 Scottish ones, Viv Lumsden
Viv
and
Lumsden,
Mary
yeah.
Marquis. They were very well-known newsreaders in Scotland.
What, specifically for Scottish news?
There is Scottish news,
I-
yes.
You didn't mention Angela Rippon, did you?
Angela Rippon died. Not the newsreader, the chicken.
Actually, it was Moira Stewart that died.
Oh, not Moira.
This is Chickeny Moira Stewart that's passed away.
Chickeny
In case
Moira
any
Stewart.
viewers are
Yes.
upset, Newsy Moira Stewart is as fit as she's ever been.
Well,
in that
as long
way,
as
I
she
don't
can...
think.
Can I just ask, is that a joke about Moira Stewart, or did you really have a chicken called Moira Stewart that died?
I really... It's just the way you're looking at me is putting me off. I really had a...
I have to say,
This is
Kirsty...
not the first time a woman has said that to me.
What breed of chicken are they?
They are Burford Browns and Cotswold Leg Bars.
Right, do you know
So
enough
why
about chickens?
didn't
Are they
you
real
eat them?
chickens, then?
Yeah, those are real chickens.
How do you know so much about chicken? You seem to know a lot.
Well, I know that... well, in Waitrose...
I thought for a minute then you were some sort of farming expert. It turns out you're just very middle class.
Exactly. And they've got those Cotswold leggy ones, I've noticed, the eggs.
Can I ask why you didn't have any male newsreaders?
Well, because we actually... Well, I'm going to have to say it now. We didn't want a cock.
Is it me or is it getting hot in here?
When you say they are your favourite newsreaders, how
Can I
do
just
you...
say, of all the people we've had on the show, you're the most... It sounds like you're actually interrogating.
Well, how do you rate newsreaders? That's the thing I want to understand.
Well, if you've been in the newsreading game as I have, Henning, it's a bit like... I'm sure when you watch stand-ups, you think, well, they're good, they're not so good, they're...
Oh, I hate a lot of them.
Right.
So why was that one Selina
Because
Scott
she
and
was-
not that one?
Well, funny you should ask that. Selina Scott, particularly beautiful, with sort of blondish feathers.
So Jan Leeming, then, what were her markings?
Well,
The chicken, not
Yes.
Jan Leeming.
Well, she's a rather dignified bird, and she's a very good layer.
Again, are we...
You asked for it.
What do you think, Lee? Is she telling the truth?
I'm not buying that. I don't think that's true. I think it's a lie.
You think it's a lie?
I think it may be true, but I'm going to go with Henning. I think he's got a very good beak for it.
We'll go with Henning's beak and we'll say that that is a lie.
You're saying it's a lie. Kirsty, were you telling us the truth, or were you telling a lie?
It's true.
Yes, it was true all along. Kirsty does have 5 chickens named after newsreaders. Henning, it's your turn.
For 3 weeks, I was listed as a missing person by Interpol.
Wow!
When did this happen?
In the mid-90s.
Where were you? Had you actually disappeared? Like,
I was in Morocco.
What were you doing there?
I was on a bike ride in Spain.
You were on a bike ride in Spain in Morocco.
Can I have a moment to chat with my client?
What happened was, I met someone in Spain on a train, a Moroccan
So hang on,
man.
was this bike ride in Spain happening on the train? It was like, because I know that you get those Spanish bike rides on trains in Morocco. It's probably one of those.
No, there was bad weather, and that's why I took the train from the north of Spain to the south of Spain, because apparently, according to the local newspaper, there was better, more agreeable bicycling weather.
how did you then get into Morocco, though?
That is because I met that Moroccan bloke on the train. and
Which Moroccan bloke?
Yeah, does he have a name?
I can't quite remember, but it was Mohammed or something.
Mohammed the Moroccan, you met on the train in Spain.
He asked me if I wanted to join him to go to Morocco. And then I thought, well, I've never been outside Europe. In for penny, in for pound. So
you were picked up by a strange Moroccan on a train and agreed to go back to Morocco with him.
What's the worst that can happen?
How did you find out that you were on the Interpol list?
I realised only once I rang my parents, once I was back in Spain. And I rang my parents, and for them it was like someone found them from beyond the grave.
So why didn't you ring your parents from Morocco?
Because that man, that Mohammed, he
You remember Mohammed, don't you?
Yeah.
He was the man on the train.
The Moroccan on the train.
Moroccan on the train who invited him back to his house.
So
Yeah.
and then when I was staying with Mustafa and his family...
From what port did you leave Spain and into which port did you enter
Good
Morocco?
question.
Well, we left Spain, if I remember correctly, from Algeciras and went over to Ceuta, which is one of the two Spanish enclaves in the north of Morocco.
Good answer.
I think you've just clutched victory from the jaws of defeat.
How was it then resolved? How did you end up getting off of the list?
Well, hang on a minute, we're jumping ahead here.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah,
hell
he's
did
allowed
you
to
in
do that,
Morocco?
isn't he?
What were you doing?
I was travelling with Mohammed.
My client is getting mixed up because at passport control they said you must have a passport. And he's getting a bit mixed up with the names.
I'm curious as to the fact that Interpol has a missing persons list.
Yeah, no, what happened is my parents got involved and they got Interpol involved.
Right.
And I sent a few postcards, one of them, to my friend Mark. And on that postcard I wrote, I've joined the Foreign Legion. Probably see you never again, have a good life or something. And then, Mark being a quite clever boy, thought, OK, with this postcard I can have a lot of fun. I go round Henning's parents and say them something along the lines of, Herr Wehn, Frau Wehn, you might be interested in this.
Sorry, so your friend Mark
Yes.
used this postcard to mentally torture your parents? I'll make his parents think he's disappeared forever for a laugh.
Where's German sense of humour?
And what do we know about this Moroccan chap who we're calling Mohammed?
He hadn't been home for many, many years. And so we couldn't take the boat straight to Morocco. We had to go to one of the Spanish enclaves because he had to collect a suitcase full of books from a cafe in Ceuta.
Why did he have a suitcase full of books?
Because someone left them there for him.
But why books? in a suitcase?
Well, it was back in the mid-90s, people were still reading.
So he went to a cafe in the Spanish enclave of Morocco
Yes.
to collect a suitcase which he told you was full of books.
Well, I suppose a friend of his left them there.
Yes, but
I
why?
mean, you know what it sometimes is like, isn't it? Like, well, I can't quite think of an example.
But if he could, it would be like that.
Yeah.
This Interpol list that you were on, can you just elaborate on how your parents got you onto it?
Well, they rang the consulate, and they rang all
Which
sorts
consulate?
of... The German one. And,
Which German consulate?
well, the one in Morocco.
They
And
didn't
the
ring
one
the
in-
police. They rang the German consulate in Morocco.
Well, that's how you would go about it, wouldn't you? It's no
I don't
good
know.
ringing your local bobby.
And what happens then with the list? Do you just... They have to tell Interpol, stop
Yeah.
looking for Henning. We
Yeah, I
found him.
suppose so, yeah.
Well, did they? For all
My
we know, they're
parents are
still
quite-
looking for you now.
I'm safe!
So what do you think, David? Does any of that have the ring of truth, or has he made all that up?
What do you think, Kirsty?
I think it's so odd and inconsistent and unlikely that it must be true.
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards as well.
Yeah.
I think that as well. I think it's true.
Henning, was that the truth, or were you telling a lie?
Well, this story is true.
Yes, it's true. Henning was listed as a missing person by Interpol. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. This week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Andy. So, let's start with Kirsty. What is Andy to you?
This is Andy. He played a handbag snatcher in a Crime Watch reconstruction. And we only got 9 calls, but every single one of those 9 calls said that Andy was actually the bag snatcher.
Greg, what is Andy to you?
This is Andy. I beat him in a speed eating competition where I ate more than 1 kilo of ribs.
All right, David, what's your relationship with Andy?
This is Andy. Last year, he gave me a surfing lesson, and he told me that he'd never seen a novice display such natural ability amongst the waves.
So there we have it. Kirsty's Crime Watch culprit, Greg's rib-eating rival, or David's complimentary surf coach. Lee, where do you want to start?
Definitely with David. Could you just show us the basic move? Because I had a surfing lesson once, and the first thing you learn is to go from lying to standing, don't you? Could you show us that move?
The lying to standing move.
You heard it.
I can't really remember it. It was only one lesson.
Where did you go for a surf?
Near Newquay.
Cornwall.
So I'm not letting it go. Would you demonstrate the movement from... This should be interesting.
Yeah, well, I'm
So you're lying on the board. I'm helping you as much as I can.
lying on the board.
And watch the movement, ladies and gentlemen. Watch as he gets to the
I'm
stand.
sort of paddling along.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Paddling,
you
yeah.
get up to your knees first.
Oh, do you?
And then, so I'm not on my knees
Then
now. I'm
turn
still a bit
90.
shaky, though.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a beginner, basically.
But you're a natural.
Already I'm showing promise.
Do you? I'm-
See, I haven't fallen in.
You've not.
And then...
You're the only person I know that actually, when they were doing it, were dressed like that.
Yeah.
So you're on your knees.
Yeah, and then I stand up on it.
Do it.
All right. Can I use
Oh, there was.
that?
Oh, that was the.
What I did that not everyone can do is actually leant on a wave. Because you can. That's, you know, if you hit water at enough speed, it's like concrete. And similarly, for me, it's just there you go. And then I thought I'm surfing that way. But then, if you want to turn round, you just move the tiller and.
why were you down there, and why had you decided? You don't strike me as a man of the sea.
It was a stag do. A friend of mine was getting married.
I know what stag
and
do's are.
In the run-up, he decided it was a weekend in Cornwall.
Who was the friend?
His name was Robbie.
David, what size was the board?
What size is the board?
Yeah.
That's him giving him time to think, the reiteration of the
What
question.
size? The board
What size
size?
is the board? The board of the side.
You want me to tell you the board size?
Yeah.
Normal.
Normal size.
Normal.
What size is a normal size
How long
board?
is this? Well, this surfboard was 6 feet long.
6 feet.
6
That's-
feet. Could have
That's
been
a
less. Could
very
have been
short
more.
surfboard.
10
that
foot
was-
would have been believable. 6 foot is not believable.
6 foot. Yeah, but he's quite a maverick.
To be honest, I didn't
Surf.
measure it.
One final question. What else did you and the guys get up to on the stag weekend, David?
We had a curry. One.
Rock and roll.
Cornish curry.
If you go to the seaside, you're not having a curry, you're having fish and chips, don't you? And what sort of stag do goes all the way to Newquay and say, well, I really fancy now some naan bread.
I must say, if that's the part that you think is the chink in my armour, that stag do wouldn't have a curry on at the seaside, then I reckon I'm doing all right.
Right, Lee, who's next?
OK, Kirsty.
Yes.
Just remind me again of your
Well,
thing.
this is Andy, and in a Crime Watch reconstruction, he played a bag snatcher, and we only got 9 calls on the particular reconstruction, and every single one of them actually named Andy as the real bag snatcher.
He was representing the criminal, yeah? And
Yeah, the bag snatcher.
the bag snatcher. How much money was in the bag?
Well, that was the reason, because we wouldn't normally have something like a bag snatching on Crime Watch, because although it's serious for the person it's happened to, it's not.
But is this where you're going to
relatively
pretend
that
it was more
serious.
serious? She wouldn't let go of the bag, so it ended up as kidnap.
No. No, you shouldn't make light of it, Lee. It's crime.
So Andy would be then an actor, would he?
Yeah, Andy was an actor.
Well, why did the 9 people bother to ring up and say, my friend Andy the actor is playing...
No, they were people who had actually witnessed the crime, who phoned us and said that is the actual guy. He looked so like the person who perpetrated the crime.
So you're telling me that people rang up the BBC and said, I think I know who did it. It's the person I've just seen doing it in the reconstruction.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What are you talking about?
Just to be clear, Crime Watch has been going it'll be 25 years next year. This has never happened before.
You don't say. I would go as far to say it's never happened at all.
Was Andy subsequently arrested?
Andy wasn't arrested.
He wasn't arrested.
No.
He wasn't arrested, he's an actor! Of course he wasn't arrested!
Get him now!
Yes, get him quick!
Right, what about Greg and his
You think
story?
Greg did it? He would have got away.
He would.
So go on, Greg, remind us of your thing.
This is Andy, and I beat him in a speed eating contest where I ate over a kilo of ribs.
Where was this?
At a training camp. Andy's an athlete,
What's his event?
the 100 metre hurdle, so it's over 10
He
hurdles.
runs over 110 metre hurdles.
Wow,
Does
that's-
he use a ladder?
If you're wondering what a kilo of ribs looks like, I'm your man, because look at these here, you see? Here we go.
Oh.
So that's a
Oh,
kilo
heck, it
of ribs.
smells. So that is a kilo of ribs. How long did it take you to eat this much ribs?
I think, if I remember correctly, about 6 minutes.
6 minutes to eat all
6
that?
minutes.
Yeah.
But how did you know whether you'd finished them or not?
They weren't there anymore.
Let's do it logically.
OK, so let's...
So let's assume there is 60 bits on the racks,
Yeah?
and you've eaten them all in 6 minutes, which works out as 6 seconds a thingy bob. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's doable.
I think that
Right. We need an answer. So, Lee's team is Andy, Kirsty's Crime Watch culprit, Greg's rib-eating rival, or David's complimentary surf coach.
Andy does look like an athlete.
Yeah.
He does. He definitely.
He
well,
really does
yeah, but
look like
he
an
also
athlete.
looks a bit like a surfing dude, and dare I say, a minor criminal.
I think it's Greg.
OK, you think it's Greg?
I don't think it's Kirsty. I think it's more likely Greg.
I have 2 Gregs, so I will make that 3 Gregs. 3 Gregs,
Okay,
please.
saying it's Greg. Andy, please reveal your true identity.
So my name is Andy, and Greg did once beat me to eating a kilo of ribs.
And it's not just any Andy. This is Andy Turner, who is indeed European and Commonwealth hurdling champion. Big thanks to Andy Turner, ladies and gentlemen. Which brings us to our final round, quick-fire lies. We start with... It's Lee.
I have had to stop listening to a classic 1980s pop song because every time I play it, it makes my baby daughter cry.
David and team.
What is the song?
I can't talk about it. It's Ultravox, Vienna.
And how many times had you played it and she cried before you decided, oh, hang on, no, this is definitely a trend?
It happened 3 times randomly, and on the 3rd time I thought, this has got to be... That's not a coincidence now, because she seems to be doing it at the same point.
Which bit?
Well, it starts off quite slow. It goes... We'll be here all night if I do this. and then suddenly, he goes, the feeling is gone... And then she started crying her eyes out, and I thought, that was coincidence. So I tried it once, finally, just to test it.
So after the 3rd time, you decided, OK, I'm spotting a trend, and then you played it a 4th time.
4th time. I even filmed it. I thought I'll film the evidence.
Yeah.
How loud was the track when you were playing it? 'Cause it seems as if
Piercingly
it went
loud
from
that would
a-
make a baby cry, because I really wanted to prove my point on the 4th one.
So what are you thinking, David?
Greg, what do you think?
I don't know. I haven't had any children of my own, so I don't know whether or not they just hate one track like that.
You
but-
should get one, because then they'll get a sandpit and you'll be happy.
I think it's
That's
true.
it. I think it's a lie. Really?
I think it's true, because I think the pitch of the music, I think it is the kind of thing that could disturb a little baby.
Well, I'm going to go with Kirsty. I think it's true.
You think it's true?
Yeah.
OK. Lee, were you telling the truth, or was it a lie?
It is, in fact, true.
It is true. And, rather excitingly, we can prove it.
I did film it. I felt terrible. I did it once. It's never been played again. Played a
OK,
BT.
so here it is.
So I'm going to play this once, and we'll never do this again. All right, Millie, promise you we'll never do this again. So sorry, Millie. That's the bizarrest thing. I think you'll agree, ladies and gentlemen. Now that's light entertainment.
It makes me so angry because they wouldn't show the clip of me attacking my mother with a taser. I thought it was really funny.
Yes, it's true. There is nothing that Lee will not do for a laugh. Next. It's me. Right. I was recently bounced off a bouncy castle whilst trying to prevent a bouncident.
What's a bouncident?
It's an incident involving a bounce, and you put the two together to create bouncident.
Surely
So
it's a derivative of accident, not incident.
Well, obviously, an accident is an incident, and a bouncident is an incident. Was this bouncident an accident?
It was a bouncident waiting to happen.
How did you go about preventing the bouncident that might or might not have happened?
I'll tell you everything. Let me set the scene for you. It's early summer, It was the birthday party of a small child.
Was you invited or just turned up?
Look, let's be clear. There's a children's party in a church hall.
Yeah.
I'm attending because it's the party of my nephew.
Yeah.
And there's a bouncy castle.
Whoa, in the church hall?
I know, I've never
Indoors?
seen
Yes,
that.
yes.
An indoor bouncy castle?
Indoors.
Yes.
How big
No,
was
there
it?
wasn't.
No, there.
How did they get it in the door?
That's a fire hazard.
I'm not an idiot. How did they get it in the door? We've got him.
No, I'm sorry, church hall, is that where the service is being held?
No.
This is
That's the
usual.
adjacent
this is
building.
Church Hall was our Prime Minister during the war. Now, I don't like bouncy castles because I think they're dangerous.
Right.
And my little boy went on after I'd expressly told him not to.
He disobeyed your orders. Worst father I've ever, most incompetent father. Well, I don't like to say, but I think the boy's better off in care.
Hey, this is very upsetting. He clambered on, unbeknownst to me.
Yeah.
And he's going back and forth. So I get on and I get my little boy, George, who is not even 2, and I pick him up.
Right.
Okay? And I'm trying now to hold my little boy whilst being bounced by these evil children. My wife is stood on terra firma, and as I'm coming off the bouncy castle, a particularly hefty child bounces, sending me up. Holding my son, I hurtle through the air. Luckily, I come to my feet like Spider-Man, but the impetus is too much. I surge forward and headbutt my wife, thus having the bouncident that I was trying to avoid. So, what are you going to say, Lee?
What do we think?
Yes, I think it's
You
true.
think it's true?
If a 2-year-old had clambered on, you might well go and get your 2-year-old off.
I think that's true.
Well, then I must say true.
You say true. David's team?
Well, we'll say it's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie.
Yeah.
You say it's true. Well, it's actually true.
Tension mounts.
Yes, it's true. I was recently bounced off a bouncy castle while trying to prevent a bouncident. That noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show, and I can reveal that David's team have won by 3 points to 2.
Two up.
But of course, it's not just a team game. My individual liar of the week this week is Henning Wehn. Yes, Henning Wehn. It was a close run thing, but he won on penalties. Good night.
Next, Miranda's having such fun on holiday in the hotel just down the road. At least the postcard will arrive. Then it's either Agnes or the family dog. One of them's going into a home. Next is Brand's Boys at 9:30 on BBC One. And the news is always good over on BBC Three with extra bits. Russell Howard's waiting right now.